is a quarter to the weekend, and you're watching Smell the Coffee with Diana Master and Glenora Shipura. How are you doing, baby girl?
I'm okay.
You sound better.
As good as we can. Yeah, I've been putting in the honey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And the steaming.
And the steaming.
Yeah, and the home remedies.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I think the trick is the rest. When they say rest, people really think it's...
But remember when I told you that every time I feel fatigue and I haven't been resting, I get sick. I get sick. My body literally forces me to rest.
Because we know what will happen if you don't rest. So
not even like we know what will happen. The thing is, it's like you get these warning signs that you're tired, that your body's tired, right? And because you're like, no, I can keep going, and your body has no choice but to force you.
By getting you,
Yes.
I see what you mean.
So every time I feel like super, super tired and drained and worn out, I have to rest. Otherwise, I know I will get sick because then that's going to force me to rest.
Because I'm also seeing myself like that. Even today, I think after this, I'm going to take some proper rest time and not be in office. Just so that, you're just giving your body that time to just rest.
Yeah.
And absorb the medication. Or at least the home remedies. But
the home remedies, let them work, allow them to work.
I'm there throwing honey down my throat. But last night was a bit rough. But we're here.
But just before we started the show, we're actually talking about how much the medical industry capitalizes on people's illnesses.
I don't think the medical industry should be capitalized. That's it.
It shouldn't, but unfortunately it is.
Yeah, but I think we have allowed capitalist greed to run our economies and our systems to the point that we are inhumane.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
Honestly, how are you refusing somebody medical treatment?
Just because, I mean,
like,
for me, it'll always be the insulin situation, right? Because a vial of insulin costs probably, I know it costs less than 10 USD to make. That much I know. I don't have my numbers down, but I know it costs less than $10 to make. But then they sell it for over 300 USD.
I know.
And
the guy who actually made it, but do correct me if I'm wrong, I think he sold the patent for free or for $1. So that it's not going to be costly.
So that it's easily accessible to people that need it.
And guess what? Greed was like, you're giving it to us for free. Now we're going
to capitalize on it.
We're going to give it a 3,000% markup.
Yeah. And I don't understand why. Because honestly speaking, even if you look at, for example, cancer, there's these theories that cancer, HIV, these were all diseases that were made in a lab. They were manufactured in a lab just so that big pharma can make more money.
And some of these things, because you do hear of here and there cases, especially with HIV, we're just talking about that. There was who was cured of you do hear of these cases.
Yeah.
And not to go all the way through the conspiracy theories or whatever, but I don't know if you guys know Dr. Sebi. He did claim to cure.
I remember. And then they killed him, no?
Yeah, he was killed. But then they also took him to court and he won the case. Because they were like, no, stop going around saying you cured
HIV.
Yes. And he's like, but I have. And he had proof.
Jeez.
So that's how he won the case. And I'm just like, okay, so there was a method that worked. Why are we not using that?
Honestly speaking, if we were to go back to the conspiracy theory thing, I don't think they would create something without creating a cure for it. Let's take a look at COVID, for example, right? How COVID sent it sent the whole world in a frenzy. But within a few months, there was a cure.
And you know what's crazy? In the Epstein files, there was already conversation about how would it look like for the world to go into a pandemic years before the COVID-19 pandemic happened.
Gee whiskers, guys, we're living in a simulation.
We're literally living in a simulation, guys.
Because what is this? Because even if you go to the hospital, right, private hospitals, they will do all of these tests. Oh my goodness, we're just covering all of our bases.
Yes.
I came in telling you I cut my finger. It's like, okay, let's go for an X-ray. Let's make sure you didn't hit any bones. Let's make sure what are there any. They will do the most.
And you know what sucks? It's a system.
Of course.
The doctor, the what, they all work together.
Yeah, of course.
take as much money from you as possible.
If you watch The Resident, I told you about The Resident. It's a medical drama.
Especially now that I'm in bed, it's going to be my weekend watch. Yeah.
So he's a resident doctor, right? I think he's a third year or something. And the hospital literally calls him in and says, you need to start doing all these other procedures. And he's like, but why? When somebody comes in and I know that it's maybe it's a simple flu. I know already what to give them.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, make sure you do scans, make sure you do what.
But I know they don't need that.
No, do all of that so that we charge them, so that we bill them, because the hospital is running at a loss. So we need to start doing all these other unnecessary procedures, but then obviously you sell it to the patient as we are covering all our bases. And the thing is, it's a catch-22 situation. No, but hear me out. It's a catch-22 situation. Because then again, what if they don't do one of these things?
And then it was actually one of
them. And then you actually did need a CAT scan, but then now you die, and then now the family sues.
Hey. You come... The
problem is, if I can't say or insult you nicely in my language, now I'm angrier.
Because you're like,
I was this angry now because I can't do what I want to do with that anger. Now I'm this angry. You
know what's crazy is it's not even when you have to argue. Sometimes it's just you trying to get your point across. Sometimes it's you just trying to prove. Or so my sister was basically telling me that because she has to speak German 24/7.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And she's like, people don't actually understand how funny I am. They don't realize how funny I am in my own language.
I'm legitimately a comedian.
I'm hilarious. But then because you didn't grow up in this up. There are things that are just going to go over your head. You understand?
I know.
It's like, it's frustrating. It's like, I wish you people knew.
It's that cultural difference.
Yeah. I have a friend. He got married to he married someone outside of his race. So this man would sit and laugh, ha, 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 and the wife would go, "What's funny?" And then he would say, "It's not funny in English." It's not funny in English. It's diabolical.
No, and it's true. Like,
but it is
some
true.
Things I know they'll be funny in Herero, but I know the moment I have to explain it to you, you won't get it. Like even if I bring you to the farm, you'll be cracking jokes, and anytime I have to explain to you, I'm like,
it's okay. It's fine.
Okay. It's fine. It's something funny, but you won't get it.
You won't get it.
And it's fine.
And it's like, I really do. Okay, but with me, I do explain.
Yeah.
Even if you don't find it funny, it's okay. I'm just going to explain why we're laughing.
And then you just look at us weird. Like,
it's even worse, like, for example, in Korean. Because they have it's one of those things where there's a lot of wordplay in Korean. So now if you're not actually fluent in the language, you won't understand. You'll be like, even if they explain it, you're like, huh?
I see what you mean, yeah.
Because remember, Korean works a lot with the consonants and vowels, right? So it's words are literally broken down in like 3 syllables or whatever it is. So they would take like the first syllable and the last syllable from another word, and then they merge it. And they're like,
and it's always about the context. So the person, but you know, right? But somebody else will be like, so why are you saying it like that?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just one of those things whereby, I don't know, do what you want, guys. Marry outside of your race, marry within your race. Who cares? Let's take a look at our next meme.
Outfit of the day. Elevator security hates to see me coming. Sarah, Chendemu.
What did he say?
Chendemu.
My favorite is when he messes up the Zimbabwean accent.
Yeah.
When he tries and it's not coming out. I saw a video where he was dark. But anyway, that does bring us to the end of our first segment. Right after the break, we bring you the latest in our top stories. Stick around.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists,
Is it the cheaper product or what? What is
I don't know.
Because why are they putting that in the clothes? Like, why are they putting that in the clothes?
Idea.
Something that they use in mortuaries. Why are they putting that on clothes? I need to also understand.
Okay, but then again, you know, in this day and
mass
age,
production.
Y'all do
again
know,
back to capitalism.
Back to capitalism, but y'all know that even this acrylic that we use on our nails was not meant for nails.
I don't like that thing.
It's for the teeth.
But why do they use it for the nails?
Teeth. I don't know who decided, you know, we can work with this. I've had a set of acrylic nails once in my life. I said never again. Even my nail tech, she hates working with acrylic. She absolutely hates it. Because first of all, she's like, it's so strong and it like messes up her.
And doesn't it damage your
It does,
also
because it's
your
very
nails?
heavy on your nails. Because it's for the teeth.
It's not meant for the nails.
And here we are, slay girl, slay. Read up on these things before you...
And you don't know what other damage is also doing to your body.
Exactly. But on that note, that does bring us to the end of today's episode of Smell the Coffee. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place. So keep it locked on NTV.